Hi everyone, just a thank you to say anyone that's tuned in already to series 1, I am so grateful. To anyone that hasn't, please do so. We really need likes, subscribes, shares, follows. If you're not following the Instagram, follow @SpinJustice. We've had an absolute ball with series 1, we really have, and we've got some absolutely cracking guests lined up for series 2. So that's going to go out on the 3rd of January. There's a Christmas special next week, the 27th of December. But for now, there's a roundup of our best bits of series 1. Enjoy.
Why I stopped at 2012 when I said took it to 2012. My daughter was born in 2012. I got with her mum a few years before.
Okay.
Pearl's mum. She's a fantastic woman, you know. She does a great job with our daughter. Do you know what I mean? And you know, but I went into that relationship looking for someone to save me.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh,
And what are you using at this point when you met her?
Everyday cocaine.
We're still
I
with the
hid
cocaine?
it from her for years.
No way, how'd you manage that?
Because she met me doing it, so she thinks that's how I am normal, I guess.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't know why you wouldn't notice it. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it did come out in the end. Then I played it down. I said, "Oh, I'll stop using it," but I didn't. Do you know what I mean? I fed her all a load of fucking bullshit. Every day I was just feeding her bullshit. I just, in the end, it was a place to stay. I had a home. I
Yeah,
had
yeah.
food cooked for me. You know, I used and abused that woman.
Yeah.
I've treated her like crap. I don't think there's enough years left in my life to make the amends to her for the shit I've done. You know, but the only one she says to me is, "You just stay clean," and that's good enough for me, Dave. Do
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? She stood by me through thick and thin. Do you know what I mean?
Brilliant.
And stuff like we get on really well, like as mum and dad to our daughter now. But
Yeah.
like, my daughter's born in 2012, and I would probably say the pressures of that then really fucking hell. Like, I'm doing cocaine every day. I've got a daughter. I'm trying to hold down work. I fucking like, and then one day some lad said, "Can't get." I said, "I want some coke, dude. Can't get no coke, mate, but I can get some crack." I was like, "All right, yeah, we'll give it a go."
What made you say yes to that?
Oh, fucking,
Just
I'm an addict, and
desperate.
I desperation, innit? Do you know what I mean? And I've done it, and and the insanity of an addict. I was like, where has this been in my life?
Yeah.
Why have I been wasting this money on coke when I can buy this stone for £10?
Yeah.
Right, but then little did I know then, right? You do one £10 stone, it lasts half an hour, bang, 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 bang. It was like
Straight back on the phone.
straight back on the phone, man. A day, I thought, as long as I just do it, crack, and I don't do heroin, I'll be okay. Because the people going from the world of cocaine to the world of crack and heroin,
I know.
you think I thought my life was bad with the stuff I used to get involved with before. Come 2013 to 2017, right? The next level, like
Yeah.
shit, like, do you know what I mean? I'm talking like going around to crack houses, smoking crack, and the door coming off, and people coming in firing shots, robbing all the drugs.
Jesus.
Yeah. I've had guns to my head and all stuff like that. And when you know, in that row, everyone's smoking crack, and you can feel the tension in the room. Everyone thinks everyone's gonna kill
I
each
was
other
going
or
to
gonna rob.
say, everyone's
Paranoid and that, like, man, like, and it's like,
comfy.
and then like. Driving for drug dealers and other people tipping off where someone's got large amounts of heroin, getting involved with all that. You know, the drug dealers don't go around without guns or knives on them. Do you know, the cocaine dealer will come in and have a cup of tea with you, give you a deal, stay half an hour, and he'll go.
Yeah.
A crack cocaine will give a crack or heroin dealer. He'll come at you and like treat you like a mug. You know, and like basically spit on you. You know,
Yeah,
treat you
yeah.
like a piece of crap, and off he goes. Like, do you know what I mean? It's a different
Yeah,
world.
different world.
Like,
So you've gone from
yeah.
like now, not just purely not being able to get hold of some coke,
Yeah, to being a full blown smoking crack every day.
and thinking, right, well, I can't get hold of that,
Yeah,
so I'll just try the crack,
yeah,
to thinking,
yeah.
I love it. This is like the way forward.
Mentally, I thought coke screwed me up mentally, but doing crack cocaine, totally destroyed my mental health.
Yeah.
Like, I was where coke made me function. This I couldn't do anything on it.
What do you mean? Like you
Look,
couldn't work no
work,
more?
nah. My work from like probably say about 2014. I walked out of the business I was in, and then I started. I was hostel to hostel to HMO to HMO. There was a stint in prison again in that period of time. There was more violence. I put in hospital. You know what? It should have been I'm thinking about this. There should have been a turning point where we robbed some drugs off someone. We got tipped off and we got paid to do this job. And I think I've told you this and I will share it anyway. And a few years later, they caught up with me. Someone must have snitched or grassed. I don't know, whatever. But this car came with these lads and they left me for dead. They put a hammer. I've got a scar on my head here. Hammer on my head. Fractured ribs, broken ribs, whatever. Punctured lung, unconscious. They just caught the back of my leg with an axe. Basically tried to kill me, and someone must have scared him off. Left me for dead in the middle of the day in Erdington, and I was in a hospital. I was in a coma, put me in induced coma, fractured skull and that, and even that didn't stop me.
Jesus Christ.
Do you know what I mean? We ain't got long enough to talk. There's so much more, do you know and it's all you're doing in that life is living a life of fear. Looking over your shoulder, you're in this situation, and you don't know how to get out of it. But when I came out of hospital, I swore blind I would never touch heroin, and then I smoked heroin. Come out, smoked heroin. I was like, as long as I don't inject it, I'm all right. Within a week, I'm injecting heroin. The following day, I'm injecting crack and heroin in the same needle.
Like, why? Can you think back? I don't suppose you can piece it together now, but like at the time,
timelines are all over the place.
Yeah, like at the time, like I'm thinking you've gone from coke to crack, okay. Then you've gone from crack to heroin to injecting both within quite a short space of time, really.
A couple of weeks, that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah.
what could you piece any of that together in terms of what you were thinking at the time?
I was thinking I want a blackout life.
Yeah.
And that's not doing enough for me no more. So I'm going to do this.
I did say to Chris, don't tell Soph, but I am a soap girl. You know, I've said this.
I was horrified.
Do you know what? I've never even been a shower gel kind of girl. I buy soap still to this day. It's obviously how we brought up, isn't it? My mum and dad bought a bar of soap.
Yep.
And I must ask my brothers how they've progressed into the cleanliness world. But I'm stuck with soap, right? And I just use simple soap. That's how I shower. That's what I wash my face with. Honestly, and I use simple wipes to take my makeup off.
No.
Tell me what I've got to do.
That kit that I gave you, we need to get you another one of them.
Yeah.
So I think that for people who are like you, like just totally, and I think it is quite mind-blowing when you go into, I was in Superdrug the other day and I was like, God, this skincare game is like, there's just so much of it.
I don't know where to start.
There's so much of it, and I do think it is a bit daunting for people thinking, like, what do I use? But I think if you're just starting out, a good cleanser, it's really hard to, like, this is why on my page as well, sometimes I don't show a lot of what I actually do, purely because it's so personal, and what works for me is not going to work for you.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I have to be quite careful, because I'm like, I don't want to just show all of the products that I use and then everybody's like, right, that's what you've got to use, because potentially that's not going to work for someone. When I do my consultations, it is very like bespoke, and we're just really working with like what your skin needs and what you're concerned about. You know, if you've got pigmentation issues, if you've got acne, you're just going to be using something completely different. So I try not to be too, I don't know, what's the word? Like I don't want to kind of just be saying to everybody, right, this is what you've got to do, because
it's not a one size fits all.
No, it's not a one size fits all. But I think if you are like wanting to start out with skincare, then, you know, a good cleanser, a good serum that's targeted to like what your actual problem is, and your SPF. You don't have to go too crazy. I don't even do like a massive 10-step routine. You know, I've got all the products and I've got my favourites of what I use, and I use stuff that's obviously for my skin. But I couldn't be asked with... I
ain't got the time.
And not many people have.
No.
I think, great, if you're the type of person that loves products and you're a real product junkie and you want to do that, great. But most of us are busy mums. We're like, we want to get it done. We want to look good, but we don't want to be there for hours just like, wondering what to use. But I think once you find what works for you, stick with it.
So I need a good cleanser then.
We need to get you, I think for you, because your pigmentation, we need to get you on the good vitamin C, a good cleanser. You've got your SPF, maybe a bit of retinol, but retinol's a hard one. And this is one where people are always like, oh, how do I get retinol? People buy ones off the shelf in the supermarket. It gives them a bit of an irritation. They get a bit of a burn from it. They get redness, dryness, and then they're like, oh, can't be arsed with that.
Yeah.
Didn't work. Whereas if you get one that's been recommended, that's maybe not too strong to start off with, start low and slow with it, you will get good results with retinol. But I just think, again, it's different for everybody. And, you might be great with it. Somebody else who's a bit sensitive, it might not be for them. It is really, it is about working with that person, I think, and just seeing. And also, like, not giving people too much to start off with. When people come for consultations with me, I'm very much like, let's just start small. Let's just get a handful of products to start off with. See how you go with them. And then once you've got your barrier sorted and your skin's looking better, then you can add in your actives, like you can add in your retinols, you can add in your vitamin Cs. But to start off with, you probably don't want to go too crazy, because then you're not going to know what suits you, what doesn't.
I think for me, it wasn't, I don't think I had postnatal depression with Thomas, but I do think my anxiety went through the fucking roof.
Yeah.
From the minute he was born, I was manic. Because
Manic
I
in what?
was scared to death that something was going to happen
Yeah,
to him.
yeah.
Scared to death.
Yeah.
I watched him breathe constantly. Those times when they go and start sleeping in their own room, they might be, what, 6 months old or something.
And you've got the baby monitor on you.
No, fuck the monitor. I was in there. I was fucking in there watching him breathing.
the monitor.
And I used to just before him to sleep, So I'd checked him a million times already for the night, But I'd just be dropping off. And this thing used to come over me, like, go and check him. And it was, the monitors these days are fucking fantastic. It weren't like that. It was, It didn't have a picture.
Did you not have one with a picture?
Not with Thomas.
Not
I did with Jack.
Yeah.
With Thomas, it was a noise thing,
Yeah, proper old-fashioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I do remember that I couldn't look at anything. It was a noise one. So I'd go into him and he was fine.
Of course he was.
Fine. I was not fine.
Yeah, but is this because of, I don't know, do you think every parent is very similar in terms of you've got this kind of instinct to protect them, haven't you, and to keep them alive? You've grown them for so long. Or is it the fact of, because we've seen what we've seen through work, we're more hypervigilant?
I think hypervigilance massively came to the fore for me when I had kids and then. But if I weren't checking on him 24/7, I was convinced, that something was wrong with him. Those red books you got from the hospital?
Health visitor thing, yeah.
His red book was fucking full because I constantly took him to the doctors and got him weighed.
Oh, see, I don't remember this.
So he's, at the doctors by us, lived in Berkeley Green at the time. There was a baby clinic every Thursday. Bear in mind, I've got no friends that have got kids. I've got nothing to do. No one's on maternity leave. I'm at home with a baby on my own.
Yeah.
So because there was this baby clinic, it was something to do. So I used to walk there on a Thursday, sit there, get him weighed, and they'd write it in the book. Oh, my God, it was full.
Did they have to go onto another page or something? Glue a page in?
Yeah, pages. To the point where any time he was slightly poorly, I'd take him to hospital. Because 9 times out of 10 it'd be in the night and the doctors wouldn't be open.
Yeah.
I was down in the children's constantly.
Who knew?
Oh, God, it's terrible. I'm probably making it sound like a lot worse than what it was, but I know that it wasn't the same when I had Jack.
Yeah.
And I'll come on to something different in a bit about our hypervigilance and stuff, because that was definitely when I had Jack.
Yeah.
But with Thomas, I was just so scared to death that something was going to happen to him. And I think as well, like you say, things that we're exposed to at work. And I think possibly, like, I'd be dealing with people in custody who would be arrested for child neglect. And
absolutely,
the circumstances of that would constantly come into my head. And be like, well, I don't think he's very well, so I'm just going to take him to the hospital just to make
Just in
sure
case.
that I've
Yeah,
done the
yeah.
right thing, because if anything does happen,
Yeah.
they can see that do you know what I mean? Oh, it's over the fucking top.
Yeah, yeah.
But I wasn't depressed, I don't think. I was just very, very anxious.
The thing is, what is the definition of depressed, you know?
I wasn't crying, I don't think. I wasn't sad. I was on edge.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would say I was more massive anxiety.
Yeah.
I mean, I do recall potentially having the baby blues in the first couple of days after he was born, but I think that's very normal.
I think this is normal
It
because
is, it
you
is.
talk about postnatal depression. I'm thinking back to when I used to go to the Barbary mother and baby unit, and I used to turn up. And how do you get the diagnosis, the label, the whatever, postnatal depression? What is the criteria for that? I don't know. I still don't know now. But it was fucking bad. Because
Yeah.
obviously I was going to hospital twice a week, so it must have been bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think as well, don't forget, some people don't even go to the doctors. They might feel really shit
Yeah, yeah.
and be really down or whatever, but they might not even tell anybody. So
Yeah.
they're not going to get a diagnosis, are they? Because they've not shared that with
Yeah,
anyone. Doesn't
yeah.
mean to say it hasn't happened.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
Just because we can't see it doesn't mean it's not real, does it?
exactly.
This is the thing.
So I think definitely for me, after giving birth, I was in a state.
Yeah.
But I didn't take any medication or anything like that. I didn't go to the doctors about it. I was, well, that came later, obviously. But,
Obviously. Yeah, yeah.
But at that time, to all intents and purposes, I was a 24-year-old girl that had a baby
Yeah.
and she was getting on with it.
Yeah, yeah. She was doing all right.
Doing all right.
Doing all right, yeah.
I had 9 months off with him. Went back to work after 9 months, back on shifts.
Yeah, yeah.
Hard.
Yeah.
Skint.
Yeah.
you know,
Stressful.
stressful, seeing
Yeah.
fucking all sorts of horrible shit that you don't want to deal with, going home to your baby,
Yeah, yeah.
you know. Anyway.
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard being a parent.
There's loads of athletes, like a few professional athletes as well. He's really good, like
You have to send me the details.
really
of
good
him.
sports massage, and he knows his stuff. And he was the one that told my coach that. And if he's saying that, then
Yeah.
I know for a fact that that's true.
Because I've been following a few people, and in fact, Dave, who was on the first episode of the podcast, he messaged me the other day, and he's bought an ice bath for his garden. And I've been thinking about it, but a lot of people do it first thing in the morning. And do you know what? I think a lot of people are doing it more for a mental health aspect than a recovery aspect, more of like a channeling your inner, you know what I mean? Like really.
I agree with in the morning. I feel like
Yeah.
it kind of, I think it's something to do with like your blood vessels or something, and the cold, it makes you more energetic.
Yeah.
Because before a fight, when we're fighting away, we go under the cold shower for 15 minutes.
Freezing cold for
Freezing
15
cold,
minutes?
yeah. Try it. It makes you really alert and awake.
I couldn't do it for 15 seconds.
No, it does work. So that's what people are doing with it, with the cold baths in the morning. In the
Yeah.
morning, yeah, but after training, no. If you're doing it after training, then you all that hard work you've just done, your muscle memory is not gonna remember what it's just done.
Yeah. See,
Sounds
if I was going
crazy,
to get
but-
one, I'd do it in the morning in my back garden. And I'm really toying with the idea, but I'm just a bit of a fanny when it comes to stuff like that. Like, just want to, I just don't know. I'm
It's
not
good for
sure.
your mind as well. It's
Yeah,
like
that's what
how far you're willing to push your mind in terms of
And I have got a strong mind. I have. I really have. I mean, I can flick a switch and be on it. At the minute, I'm not. But
Yeah.
I know I can tell myself to do something, and I can do it. And I know if I said to myself, "You're going to do an ice bath every day for 6 months," I would do it. But I just kind of feel like, oh, just that. Do you know what I mean?
I'm a bit even when before the fight, I'm like that, and like I'll like obviously I'll be wearing swim shorts because we like do cutting weight for the sauna.
Yeah.
And then I'll be getting held under the thing by my coach, and I'm thinking, fuck's sake, I'm just like, just let go, just let go.
Yeah, yeah.
That me there is just, but then that's willpower, you know what I mean? That's how far what you're willing to do to win the fight. And
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's a good thing. So sports massage is your thing.
I'll have sports massage the week before, lots of stretching. I've done what's it called? Yoga.
Yeah, yeah.
So I do hot yoga before the week before the fight.
Oh, yeah.
That's hard.
Do you know what? I've never done it. I follow loads of people. Hot Pod, there's a lady that I follow that does that. I've looked into like these studios that are like temperatures up. When you say
hard.
it's hard, is it because you're sweating?
You're sweating, but it's also like, so I I stretch, but not like to this extreme. So then you've got a 60-year-old woman stretching next to me, and I'm looking at me thinking, how?
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm 28, like
in my prime and looking at it and thinking, how the fuck are you stretching that? And
Yeah.
I look an absolute spazzle like a giraffe and that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, I'll do stretch. We do a cool down where we do a stretch at the end of every class. So I am stretchy to a degree, but like, I really need a sports massage. There's a lad in Kennelly's gym, Dan Height. He has got a sports massage
Yeah.
room. I've been to him. He does the cupping, the dry cupping. So they
I'm
put
not
these.
too sure. I don't really know much about that, so I can't really comment on that. But
Yeah, so I think I'm going to go for it. So I was thinking about it last time, but I just had a sports massage with him. In fact, I messaged him yesterday saying I need to book him with you. I'll drop you a message the weekend
is it for an injury or is it?
So I have things. I've got like sciatica.
Yeah.
So like last time I went to him, it was in this arse cheek, and I just said to him, just punch me in the arse. And it goes all down my leg and it goes into my ankle, and the pain, like when it's bad, I can't walk. It's not been like that since lockdown, so I'm all right. I'm more mobile now, so it's all right. But when it comes on, and I can feel that ache and I can feel it in my ankle. Last time I went to him, I had a full face of makeup on when I got there, absolutely pointless. So when I came out, I would literally got tears all down my face, just because he's a bigger bloke, obviously.
Yeah.
And get his elbow into my like piriformis in my arse, and it's like, it shoots down my leg. But I need it because it loosens me up.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
They definitely were.
Yeah, but he does the dry cupping, and in fact, my shoulder was fucked as well last time. He thought I'd got a frozen shoulder. Probably only been 12 months since I've seen him. But I need to go back and I need to have them more regularly. But you know what it's like? It's getting round to it.
Yeah, I think I understand the science there behind the cupping. I feel like it's almost like when you have an injury and you put a bandage on, you compress and the blood goes to the injury and it makes it sweat. Like when you want the blood to go to the injury and it kind of heals quicker.
So when you see, like, 'cause he'll take a picture of, say, if they were all over your back, he'd take a picture of all these like circles, where the cups have been, and where there's like a darker red, so where the blood's obviously more stagnant, is better because it's bringing it. It's a good thing. Yeah. So I'm gonna go and say, go on, just do it.
Yes, I'd be interested to see what that's like, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. I'll let you know. So right, I want to talk to you about like your training and like periods, because obviously, you're at 30. I haven't had a period in 5 years, so I've almost forgotten what it's like. But I remember when there used to be hell on earth for me. Yeah. I mean, I used to be like, and sorry lads that are listening, but it's real life. I'd be in so much pain. I'd lose so much blood. I mean, this is the reason why I don't have them anymore, because I was so bad with them that I'm medicated to not have them anymore because it was so bad. But like, if you've got a fight coming up, how long's your camp? 6 weeks to 8 weeks?
8 to 10 usually.
So there's 2 or 3 periods in that time. Does that affect your training?
So there should be, technically, but so I was just saying, like, I used to struggle with them like badly, and I'd be off school because I'd be like in so much pain. So I got on, my mum took me to start taking contraception from quite a young age. Yeah. Maybe like 14, 15.
Yeah.
And I've been on it ever since. So up until June this year. So I've always been on like a contraception that, well, eventually I went on, when I was an amateur, that I was on a coil where I wouldn't have periods. So to me, that was great. Periods and inconvenience, they're painful. I know when my weight is all right. When I was an amateur, you need to be on weight and you need to be ready all the time. And that was always absolutely fine. And then in COVID, I started to experience some I was really hormonal. I don't know whether it was because we were just stuck in the house and we were all dealing with a lot of like stress and anxiety. So I decided to come off that and try something else. And so I've always taken like the pill instead to manage my periods. And I've not had normal periods since the age of 14, 15. And I thought recently, in the last year, especially because like my husband, Paddy, he's been talking about wanting kids in the next few years, I thought I should probably try and regulate my hormones and see whether like what kind of what's going on. So I had a few natural periods after that, and it's not great with training. It's hard. You can be inspiring, you can feel $1 million, and you go in and you feel so flat, and your concentration's all over the place. You've not slept properly. You're really hungry. Like you have all these really hard hormones. But then I've not had them for the past few months, and then I realise I don't know whether it's because I've been training and dieting too hard, or whether it's just because they still haven't regulated. But it is something that then now I'm worried that they won't come, and then I'll end up having it like come on off when I'm due to fight.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like the whole point of coming off early in June was thinking at least I'll have them regulated for when I would work around it with my fights and make sure that I'm not having on my period on my fight, because that'd be a disaster. And now I have no idea.
Yeah. Is there anyone, I suppose, could you maybe like go to the GP and see?
Yeah, and I will do. I mean, it's not like a worry to me at the moment, but it's just like it's just stuff. It's just annoying that you have to worry about these things.
Yes, this is
because
what I mean.
like it's between making weight or not making weight sometimes. And if you don't make weight because you've come on a period unexpectedly, people don't want to know about that as an excuse. But it's a reason. It's not an excuse. You could miss
Exactly.
weight because of it.
Yeah.
And that's why I've always just thought, it's just easier to take contraception. But then it's not technically any better for you. So you're always in a bit of a lose-lose situation with it.
Yeah, and I think, like you say, you've got in your mind, in the back of your mind, you want a family at some point. So yes, exactly that. You know, you want to regulate your periods so you know when's best that you're ovulating, when's best to try and conceive. Because if you're every 28 days, I used to be quite regular, like every 28 days. And then then, because midway through the month is your optimal time to conceive. So, but the problem was for me that I'd be in so much pain, and it got worse after the kids for me. It was bad, like you say, in school and stuff. But then even after I had my children, it got worse and worse and worse, to the point where sometimes I'd be heaving over the toilet, being sick with the pain. I'd go through different sets of clothes per day. I remember being on PST, it's personal safety training within the police, back when I worked in that environment. You have to do it every 12 months. So you do your self-defence training. And I remember once I was at Telio doing it's like a 2 or 3 day course or something, and I had to take spare clothes with me because I was that bad. And I remember like going through a set of clothes whilst doing that, and you just think, well, why I don't be putting up with this, man.
I remember being an apprentice electrician, and I was working at someone's house, and I was like keeled over behind the kitchen, thinking, I hope my boss doesn't see me. I was only like 17 years of age, and I thought, how to explain that? Like, literally couldn't. And then you'd be all right after a little bit.
Yeah.
Like the cramps would come and go. But yeah, at the moment, it's not really an issue too much at boxing, but then it is an issue at the same time.
It bores the shit out of me. Sometimes, not all the time.
Yeah.
But when you play with a live band, there is no feeling in the world like you cannot. It's like taking heroin and then going to paracetamol, pretty much.
Right.
It's a different energy. It's a different vibe. You've seen it. It's the energy is electric.
Yeah.
And obviously, if there's times when I'm not there, like when I've got a solo show.
Yeah.
The way it works, I get bollocked by fans all the time because they're constantly in my inbox going, "What? We travelled from Nottingham to see you. You weren't there, blah, blah." The fans don't know. I was never meant to be there. The band have still got to work.
Yeah.
There's 8 of them, and their wages rely on my shoulders then. I'm like, if I've got a solo show that's booked in August, and then in July, a inquiry comes in for the band and I'm not available, they've still got to take that gig and let someone else sing. Stuart, the trombone player,
fantastic.
He can sing, so he will cover. But because as far as they're concerned, it's like going to see Oasis without Liam Gallagher. It's like, it's not the same. You're not there. It's not the same. But I get where they're coming from. I do get it, because it's a different. I bring what I bring to the show, but the band, it's like a perfect marriage. I bring my side, they bring theirs, and it creates this thing that has been going for 20 years.
Yes.
And it's extremely popular all over the UK. Now, that popular that Ali Campbell has endorsed it himself, so we're like the official #1 UB40 tribute show, which is great. But then when I don't turn up, I'm the fall guy.
Yeah, and I get
But they don't realise it's not because I can't be asked or I don't want to be there. I'm already booked out on a different show.
Yeah.
So this gig came in after I was already booked, and after one of the first booking, I can't just drop them on their arse. And the amount of times I've had to do that for the band's sake is far too many.
Yeah.
You know.
Because I've been to see you with the band, and then I've seen the band on their own.
Yeah.
And I said to you last time at the 515 Club or whatever it's called,
it's a
you were
different
there in
vibe.
the beginning, then you went, and there was girls in the toilets moaning.
Yeah.
And The band are fantastic. We had a great
They're
night.
a great band, an unbelievable band.
We had
That's
a
why I joined
cracking
them.
night. In fact, we were the last ones in there, got
Yeah.
kicked out, obviously. Gobshites
Just,
that we are.
just not the same, is it?
But it isn't the same. But that's not to knock the band because they are fantastic.
Yeah, the music will always sound the same.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's just
so
missing the
all right then.
icing.
So you prefer the band then?
Oh, 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
With the hands on my heart, 100%. Like when I'm not with the band, it depresses me because it's not only they're a family. Like when we're on the road, we're responsible for each other. Like they are your family. I spend more time with that band than doing my own family.
Yeah.
Than with my own kids.
Yeah.
Literally. No, we've been Holland 5 times this year. When we're away and we're looking after each other, literally, like we're responsible for each other.
Yeah.
It's very much a family environment, and we argue like fuck.
Do ya?
Yeah, but there's still politics in every band, in every family. There's politics.
Yeah.
Somebody at some point will piss you off
Yes, of course.
by doing whatever, and it's usually, in fact, 99.9% of it is about music.
Okay.
You're playing that wrong. No, I'm not. Yes, you fucking are.
What? And is that
It gets
do
like
all
that.
of you chip in?
Yeah,
So you'll say to someone, "You're playing that wrong," and someone will say something to you.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And how does it go down? Like, do you just have a bang off or what?
Yeah, we have a bang off. But don't be funny. They're all Handsworth Rastas. Like, at the end
it's
of the day,
fine.
they ain't shy.
No.
They're going to tell you. They're going to cuss you out.
Yeah.
Simple. I rarely get cussed out because it's usually me cussing. But them things do exist, and we're a family. Like, they're gonna at the end of the day, and we haven't really got anything else to argue about because outside of the band, we don't attack each other personally. It's not a personal thing.
No.
Whatever we've got to say to each other is usually regarding what's best for us as a business and as a brand.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what it's about.
So it's constructive criticism.
Constructive criticism, but the
Yeah.
problem is in the band, there's members in the band that cannot take constructive criticism. There's,
Okay.
a couple of members who are very, very sensitive to it. So you have to be very mindful of that when you're talking or when we approach somebody, or if I want to say to one of the lads, that bit there, can you not sing over the top of me because I can't fucking hear myself, mate? And I'll struggle with that a lot. Like, there's so much going on. It's such a busy band, and with UB40, it's so brass driven.
Yes.
So if the brass is not quite right,
Yeah.
it's going to overpower everything else to the point where our monitor set up on stage, like certain members have their monitors so fucking loud, I can't hear myself sing. I use in-ear monitors now to get around that. But there's a lot of issues that go on stage that the audience will never ever know about.
Never pick up
They haven't
on.
got a clue.
Oh, I'm going to look out for it next time.
But
But I wouldn't be able to pick up
if I
on it,
watch
would I?
videos back, I can see me going, fucking shut up.
Yeah.
Like, can't stop doing that. Blah, blah, I can't. Or I'm looking to the engineer going, I can't hear myself. Or put the keyboards up. Or
Oh, okay.
But that exists in every band if you know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Every band has got politics.
And these bang offs, are they over as quick as they've started?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they're
it's
done.
just the thing with me. I'm very black and white to the point. If I've got something to say it.
Same.
But it's not.
Got no
I'm not being
filter,
nasty. It's just I can't beat around the bush. It's not in me.
No, me.
I'm just direct. Whereas some people don't possess that.
Yeah.
Or some people can't take that.
I think that's a Birmingham thing, you know.
Do you?
Yeah, I think that directness and that brutal honesty, I was brought up with it, and I don't know
Yeah.
any different. If I've got something to say, whether you like it or not, I'm saying it. Whether it's about my personal feelings or it's about you, and I'm not going to offend you. I'm going to use my words right
Yeah.
because I'm educated, but I'm not going to deliberately try and offend somebody. But I've still got to say my truth.
Yeah.
Like, if you're playing that trumpet over my vocal at the same time I'm trying to sing, how am I supposed to hear what I'm singing?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And if I'm looking at you going, why didn't you wind your shirt? We're on a theatre stage. There's 1,000 people out there. Why haven't you wind your shirt? That pisses me off.
Okay.
I've never been on stage with. I take my iron to every gig, every single gig.
Yeah.
I'm the iron guy in the band. I have to set the iron up. Everyone has to iron their stuff and blah blah, and they don't bring an iron. They don't. Mitch has got the iron. Don't stress.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's members that don't want to iron their clothes. I ain't ironing my clothes. Fuck that.
So you just tell them.
Yeah, iron your fucking clothes. What are you doing? They've just paid 30 quid a ticket to see you. You can't fucking press your shirt. What are you doing?
Yeah.
For me,
Pride.
like, pride.
Yeah.
First impressions is everything, like. And I've always been that way.
Yeah, so you can, whatever you're looking for, you can find it. If you're looking for good in somebody, you're going to overlook bad things and you're going to find it. If you're looking for bad in somebody, you're probably going to overlook the good and you're going to see the bad. Yeah. And I also think a real big problem out there for why a lot of things can't progress. And I know this from observations, speaking with other women especially, to be honest, that have trusted me with their conversations, that like friend groups can sometimes influence what's going to be of any one thing. So a woman could say, I'm dating this guy, seems nice, everything's going good. And sometimes the other single people, if they're not doing that, they might sort of not want their friend to, something's moving like, and I've heard this from people, and sort of a little bit like, oh, that don't sound right, and be careful and whatever. And sadly, sometimes it can be, don't get me wrong, there's some people that are very supportive of it, but I'm just saying, I'm talking about the problems as to why things often can't progress, I guess. Or maybe sometimes they've even got like the perfect husband at home, and the whole friend group's always like, oh, so-and-so's husband, he's the best guy in the world. And they like that. And then when all of a sudden another one of the groups starts saying, this guy's really good and I think it can go in a direction, and they start thinking, oh, hang on a minute, the attention's... and sometimes people can give advice for the wrong reasons. That's sadly, I've heard this from others.
Yeah, I think with my friend group, and I mean, there's 7 of us and 3 of us are single. Now, obviously, I was one of the married ones at one stage, yeah? So, like, I've moved from there to there, do you know what I mean, being single now. But if one of my single mates met someone, I want nothing more than for that to work for them. And I want to look for that good. But if there is something bad...
Of course.
I'm the first one to call him a prick and say, fuck him off. Like...
But seeing it for what it is and just giving your honest opinions is what a friend does, really. But, sadly, there are, people out there, unfortunately, that kind of like, they want you to be happy, but not happier than me type of attitude.
See,
you get a lot of that in all areas of life.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Thing,
I think I just think...
I've heard a couple of stories, and I wouldn't speak on anyone, but like where, that pattern has come to light with people, and I just think like it's absolute madness. But people will be influenced by the friends. Another thing, and I'll just quickly add to that, is, and I've seen this and it's comical really, is that if you've got a group of mostly single women, right, and they're in all the group chats and whatever, and they go out on dates and everyone's dating and it's all exciting times and whatever, and we all think we got forever, and they all come back, it's like, wow, did the date go out? You know it is. Look, I've been on dates and the woman's like, I'm just going to the toilet, and I'm like, right, you're messaging now? Of course you are, that's what you do, no problem. It's all like, we've got to get back to the group's chats and whatever, and how's it gone? And some of them are throwing in, you're never going to believe what this guy done, and what, like sometimes little embarrassing stories, or you'll never guess what he said, it was so cringe.
I've got plenty of them.
Ick and all this trendy words.
I don't like that word.
Used, right? And then it becomes quite a popular thing. It's almost like women, and again, I'm not digging out women as such, but I'm only talking on what I observe as a male, I guess, that it becomes quite a thing that they almost like want to go back to the group and say like, start telling the story, and red flag straight away. I've been on dates as well, and they're sitting there telling you about past dates, and they're talking about, so this and whatever, red flags, and I just think, oh no. To me,
I hate the word red flag.
I
hate the word ick. Fucks me off.
Narcissism.
Like, everyone's saying the
narcissist.
word demure at the moment.
I haven't heard
Fuck
that
off.
one. Like, I must
demure.
be.
No, not fucking demure. I hate those words, and it pisses me off when it's like, oh, that's a red flag, or that's no.
If you've got that sort of mindset, you're looking for problems.
Yeah.
And but what it is people think that they've got forever, and a lot of that comes from things like social media. Women have got like 50 men in the DMs constantly, or the majorities have, especially if you put in the hard filtered pictures out there that make you look mostly different to what you are and all that rubbish. They've got 50 men, and it's usually 2 a.m. on Saturday night or whatever it is, sort of thing anyway.
Up.
And they can't,
that's the message, you up, question
mark. But by the
mark.
way, they're messaging another 20 people, sort of.
Oh, yeah.
It's just cast the net wide sort of thing.
A gig the other week, a couple of months ago, in a swingers club.
Oh, okay.
So they contacted me for a show. And I was like, I'm going to have to speak to my wife.
Yeah.
I said, what is it? He said, well, there's a chance people could be naked in there.
Right.
They're going to be having sex. It's a proper sexy, like, what do you call it? Like,
you can't be gigging while people are shagging, surely.
well, after in the break and stuff, they're going to get it on and stuff. And there's a gangbang room there.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, a gangbang room? Yeah. So anyway, I went to have the meeting with them and a chat, and I went and spoke to my wife, and I was like, listen, I've got to be honest with you, they've approached me, And she was like, I said, should I do it or leave it? Because obviously it might be a bit awkward being in the room with tits out and everything. She went, do it, they're paying you. Do it. Fucking
it's
hell.
money at the end of the day.
Yeah, I was like, right. And so I said, I'll do it. And he's like, fair play. Like, you sound like you've got a good wife and everything. So I went there. The gangbang room made me feel physically sick.
Oh, come on.
So I had to walk through it to go to the performance area.
Oh, okay.
So I've had to walk through 38, 40 men, 3 women.
No. Oh, I've had a sheltered life, man.
Mate, I was...
Carl's laughing. Can you hear him
I
laughing?
I didn't laugh. I went pale. I shit you not. I smelled sweaty balls in there as well. I walked through and I was like, and there's all these dirty old men just stood around. There's 3 women. And they're getting rattled by about loads of men. And I'm like, this ain't fucking not. What sort of world are we living in?
Yeah.
And I got on stage on the mic and I was like, really, you lot been downstairs? And the couple, I said, you fucking make me sick, man. What's the matter with you? There's someone's daughters down there.
3 women, man.
And look, they're all round grabbing them and all that.
Oh.
It's really like, I didn't like it at all.
No.
And I thought,
seedy.
I said, this is seedy, that's the word.
Yeah.
And it smelled of balls, man. Like, some of them didn't shower before they come, I'm telling you.
Ugh.
And I was like,
Have
that
some
has
pride.
made me feel physically sick. They asked me to go back. I said no.
I wish I could give my kids everything and I can't.
Yeah.
My kids have gone, since this social media, gone without birthdays, not getting nothing off their dad.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And I say I got nothing to hide.
Yeah.
So when things do start going my way and I start earning some dough, don't start going on like I owe you something, because you know who I owe? My kids and my family, my missus.
Yeah.
That's who I need to treat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because and this is another thing, I gotta give the respect to my missus, you know, because she stood by me all the way. You get me, before any of this social media shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And we're still together now.
Brilliant.
Do you know what I mean? Because I ain't waking up without my kids.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like, you know, women out there, oh, you all right? And shut up, man. You know what I mean? You wouldn't even look at me twice if I never had a following.
Oh, so you get people trying to, like...
Sometimes, not all the time and that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you could be out and go, hello, you all right? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want to come across like, oh, all the birds want me and that, because now it ain't like that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But there's people out there who just want a bit of clout or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
But this is the whole point I was trying to get across with social media, because I feel like I can differentiate between what's real and what's not. And I can look at something and go, oh, that looks fantastic, or I don't like the look of that, and then switch it off, fuck it off, and get back to my family.
Yeah.
And I can put that distance. I do have to use social media because we have to. I've got a couple of businesses on the go, and I have to push it because that's the cheapest and easiest way. But I can easily. There's nothing I love more than having nighttime, putting my phone on Do Not Disturb, fucking it off, putting my feet up, putting Netflix on, chilling with my kids, doing whatever.
Fantastic.
That's what I want to do, and I won't be like glued to my phone. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what it is? Yeah. What I'm learning. Don't be a consumer, be a creator.
Yes.
So as much as I'm on my phone, I'm going to be creating or doing business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Stuff what's going to put into something. So what people don't realise, I can meet up with my mates, yeah. And you know, people be like, oh, you're just chilling. Nah, we ain't chilling. This conversation me and him are having now is going to spiral into something what we're planning.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's not dead conversation.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying, I've kind of stopped drinking in a sense. I'm not around the pubs. I was a pub lad all my life. Do you know what I mean? Just in the pubs all day, every day. Like that's all I used to do, was just go to the pub. And now it's not. But then like sometimes it's like, he thinks he's better or something. No, I don't. I just, you know, it ain't for me anymore. I've wasted 10 years of my life. And this is another thing, yeah. You see when people go, are you travelling, this and that? Yeah, I am. I know I am going to try and chase my goals, chase things. Because you know what? If I live to 75, if I'm lucky, I'm 35 now. Well, I've got 35 summers if I'm lucky. I've got 35 years, 30 years left if I'm lucky. Do you know what I'm saying? I could go out and die tomorrow. So I'm making sure I'm going to do something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you read what I sent to you, but part of the show is a spin justice of the week. So basically, it's something that's happened to you. recently, minor, major, whatever, that you feel is a bit of an injustice that you just want to like have a little rant about? Is there anything you can think of on the spot?
But they're all die. A rant. Yeah. I'm going for the councillors on Shard End. Yeah. On my area. Listen, I'm going to achieve things in my life. My platform's going bigger and bigger and bigger. The thing is, I've got big, massive companies who are backing me. Yeah. I need to be in a position. Do not make me have to vote you out. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I am going to go and become a councillor if nothing gets done. Do you know what I'm saying? And then I'll just spend every day, every week of my life, yeah, and just calling you out, naming you out, outing everybody, yeah, who's putting stops to making this stuff grow. Do you know what I mean? I want the land on Shard End, on the park there. I don't want no one else to deal with it. I'll deal with it. I'll get the money. I'll get the funding. I just need the go-ahead to put events on there. Do you know what I mean? I've put multiple events on now. I'm on my 5th, 6th boxing event. And it's got bigger and bigger. It's the Peaky Promotions. Do you know what I mean? We're going worldwide with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They know who we are. Do you know what I mean? So, councillors, do the right thing. Let's get talking, because I don't actually want to be a councillor. Don't want to do it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't want to do it. So, there's my little rant.
Yes.
And I'm a man of my word, yeah. So the youth club on Shard End's not going anywhere if I have anything to do with it. I know you've probably already got your planning permission to put some houses on it, and your mates are going to buy it, yeah. Don't be overcharging and extending things, because gins from Shard End will have sponsorships, and all we're going to do is promote their businesses who are going to help our community, yeah? And that's what I'm going to say. Do not let me be one of these vigilante geezers, you know what I mean?
It's been Justice of the Week, God, yeah.
All I could see was just like a sea of blue lights, and I can see it so clearly in my head. It's mad though, because I feel like even though it was serious, in my head I was like, it's James.
He's going to be all right.
He'll be fine. He'll be okay. He'll get through it. He's so physically fit. He's so strong. He would never have got himself into that situation. He just wouldn't. He wouldn't.
Yeah.
So in my head, obviously the panic, but I was like, it's James. He'll be okay. He'll be okay. He'll be okay. Anyway, I abandoned my car and got out, and they'd obviously started taping everything off. And I tried to get underneath the tape, and somebody pulled me back and said, "Who are you?" And I was like, "I'm James's sister. I'm his sister." And then by that time, they said, "You need to go and stand behind here. You know, they're trying to work on him or whatever."
Yeah. And could you see at this point from where you was?
I couldn't see what they were doing. I can just remember seeing. I knew he was lying on the floor. I could see like a drip or something, and I don't know. By that time, my mum and dad had pulled up, and were walking towards me. And again, like even then, I'm shaking. Even then, you're looking for reassurance of your mum and dad.
Yes, yeah.
And like I was looking to them for that, and just to see them the way they were, in complete like just numbness. I can't explain it. Just numbness.
So were they with you at the cordon at this point?
They did at that point, yeah. Anyway, we must have been there for. They were working on James for well over an hour. I think they did. They had to perform open heart surgery, massage, and they did amazing. They did everything they could. They really did. And one thing that really sticks in my head is, so initially they came over and said, if he does survive, he'll be severely brain damaged. He won't be the same.
And did they explain or go into that? Was that because of the lack of oxygen?
Trauma,
and
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't remember exactly. I don't think there was a lot of explanation, if I'm honest.
And if there was, you probably wouldn't have took it in anyway at the time.
No. And then, however long after, I can just remember the doctor and some other people, paramedics presumably,
and the police walking over, and I can just remember him saying, "Do you want to tell them or shall I?" That rings in my head so much. And they said he's dying. Sorry.
No, don't apologise. So at that point, you're still sort of stood behind a cordon, watching everything take place in front of you.
Yeah, can't do anything, just shouting him.
Yeah, yeah. And when they said he's dying, presumably then, was he still alive at that point?
I think so, but he was unconscious.
Yeah. Unconscious, yeah.
But it's just helplessness, isn't it? Because you can't do anything about it. The only thing we could say was just shout, "We love you, James, we're here with you."
Yeah.
Anyway, they let us go over to him and, they let us go over to him and, like, say goodbye and stuff. And, like, nothing prepares you to see your family member, my brother, on the floor with his chest wide open in a pool of his own blood.
Yeah.
It's just, I just can't get that image out of my head.
No.
And I can remember my mum and dad were obviously with him, holding him, and they were like, sit with us, sit with us. I couldn't even sit with him.
No.
I couldn't sit with him. I couldn't look at him. I couldn't even say goodbye. I couldn't. I just literally sat on the floor, facing the other way, just in a heap, and I couldn't move.
Yeah. But, you know, that's like you said, that's a memory that you don't want to have, you know. You don't want that to be your last memory.
No, exactly. And I think I'm really trying for that not to be the memory of James, because he had such a zest for life, and I know everybody will say this about their siblings, of course they would, but he was the best big brother. He really was. He's so protective, and he's just so inspirational as a person, I think. Like, you know, he's wise before his ears. It was like It was like an old man. Yeah. Really. You know, with the things he used to come out with, I'd be like...
How old was he at the time he died?
26.
26. And how old were you at the time?
22.
Yeah, so... And also, I mean, you obviously then, at that point, you know, you're remembering all the times growing up together, you know, him being an inspiration to you and you looking up to him, all these things running through your head.
I think, one thing that people don't realise, I've never known life without my brother. Yeah. He's older than me. And I always looked to him for everything, more so than my mum and dad, actually. I'd tell him everything. He told me everything.
And I remember...
I can't stop shaking. I'm really sorry.
Do you want a blanket?
No, it's because I'm just going, like, everything is going back. I just can't, like...
So, you know, at the time, because it's not normal practice, is it, to allow people into the cordon? Obviously, because that's a scene. So it's... Yeah, it wouldn't be something, you know, that as normal practice, but obviously...
Yeah.
You're there, he's there, and I remember the SIO of the job at the time, or the person that was on nights at the time, made that call to sort of, you know, let you in and say goodbyes, which is just tragic, you know. But then, at what point? Because at this point, I'm guessing you ain't got a clue what's happened, because you're in bed, your mum and dad were in bed, he's gone out.
I didn't know he'd gone out.
Yeah.
Because one thing that I missed out was when James's girlfriend was ringing me. I initially went into his room and was like, Jim.
You thought he was in?
I'm being called.
Yeah.
And I said, why is she ringing me? And then I was like, Jim. And I put his light on and he wasn't there. Yeah. And that's what triggered me to think, okay, right, I'm answering the phone.
If you have a topic that you want to discuss, get in touch at b31spinjustice@gmail.com or via Instagram @spinjustice.